of Beat the Coach, and we're hopefully having Jonathan Martinez join us shortly. We're probably going to get started a little early today because I got some things I got to do right at 12. So let's go ahead and get started. And Alex3610 is always the first one to give us a challenge. So let's start off with this. Okay. So Alex3610. I don't remember what openings we played before, but let's check this out. All right, so he is developing his pieces, which is very good. And we're going to play the, okay, we're going to go back to what we learned last time, which was, this was the Joko piano that we learned last time. And our opponent played a little bit differently than before. So let's check this out. So d4, and then the most likely move is to take. And then they can either play bishop to b4 check, or they can play bishop to b6. All right, so that looks logical. So I'm going to play knight c3. If he takes, that just strengthens my center, so that wouldn't be very good for him. All right, so bishop g4, that's a provocative move in that he's pinning my knight, and he's also putting some pressure on the d4 pawn. So we gotta see what we're gonna play here. Let's go ahead and play h3. And if he takes, I'm going to take with the queen, because when I take here, I'm actually threatening checkmate. If he takes my pawn on d4, so he can't. Okay, so he played the correct move. Good. So Alex3610, you're playing very well so far. So bishop e3. Now I need to defend my pawn, and so that's why I didn't castle right away. So we're both going to castle. And so now we've completed the opening, and now it's really time to start focusing on the middle game. So Alex3610, I would not play that move. The downside of this move is that you're giving up a bishop for a knight, which in a fairly open position is not the best thing to do. And also, I didn't even attack you. So it's kind of a wasted tempo. So taking here is just an error. So I wouldn't give up my bishops quite so quickly there next time. Okay, so now I have the two bishops versus the two knights. Okay, and clearly that's in a position like this is good for them. Okay, so a6. I don't know that Black wants to play this, but you know what? We're going to set him up for a trick. Watch. So rook b1. And he'll play b5, and I'm going to play here. And see if you can see what my threat is, everybody. What's my threat if it's my turn? Okay. The problem with moving this pawn is it was defending this knight. Okay. And now I have the ability to play e5, which has a discovered attack on the knight, and it hits this guy. The question is, do I play bishop here first? I'm going to play bishop here first just to try to get a pin and make him play king g7. And then I'm going to play e5 because that's a very strong move, I think. So, yeah, that's the danger of moving a pawn in front of your king, especially the g pawn. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm going to take this first, and you still have this problem. So, unfortunately, now when you play king g7, you're going to lose two pieces, because now we're able to attack this knight on f6 and all that. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to take here. All right, and then in positions like this, when you see three pawns on the same color, that means that the opposite color is weaker. So here the dark squares are very, very weak. So now I'm just going to go queen here, and I'm going to come in, and there's nothing Alex can do about it. So unfortunately, those two bishops versus the two knights turned out to be pretty fatal. Now Black has one defense here. Yeah, he could play queen e6, because now if I make a mistake and go here, if I go here, then he just takes my bishop. So what do? I hunker down, and I defend that guy with this move e5. And as we all know, pawns are the best possible defenders of anything. So now that I've got now I've got this ingrained. There's literally nothing he can do about this. It's going to be, other than him sacking his queen, it's going to be forced checkmate. And here, notice I don't even bother taking the rook. I don't want it. I'm going for checkmate. So his only way to get out of it is to sack his queen. And okay, so then he just lost checkmate. So good game. We'll learn from that next time. All right. So now we're going to find who is next. Dark Awesome Creature. Let's see if you'd like to play. Dark Awesome Creature. All right, great. I don't think we've played before. I think I challenged you before, but I don't think we actually played. All right, so in honor of Jonathan Martinez, who's not here, we're going to go ahead and play the French. Okay, and the purpose behind the French is you're going to fight for a different square. They're going to fight for the light squares. When you play pawn here, you're fighting for some of the dark squares. Okay, so here the purpose of the French is now you're going to gain some space with this, and then white has a lot of options. They can move knight here, which is called the Tarrasch, knight here, which doesn't really have a name yet, and then e5 is called the advance. So this is a normal looking move. And so let's go ahead and play what's called the winnower. Okay, and this creates a direct threat because now the pawn can take here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take this guy. So he broke the pin so he could go ahead and take here. But unfortunately for him, I have this extra tactic here. Because now not only is the did I win a pawn, but I'm actually threatening to take the d pawn. So if he takes with the knight here, I will go ahead and play queen takes d4. And that defends this guy. And it also protects hits the knight on e4. Okay, so all right, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and retreat. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So bishop a5. And now if he takes here, it's not quite the same thing because my queen's not guarding this, but at the same time, I also am hitting the knight with check. So if he played knight takes e4, okay, and I took on d4 with the queen, and he took here on a5 with the bishop, I could take here with check. So it's a little better version for him than the other one, actually. But, so, okay. All right, so he's going to go ahead and try that. And to be consistent, I have to take this. Okay, and now taking on e4. If he takes on a5, I'll take on e4. It's a check. The reason I think that's a better version for him is at least he has the two bishops still. And as we just learned in the previous game, having the two bishops in an open position is good. And the knights are better in closed positions, obviously. All right, so our opponent decides not to do that. So we're going to go ahead and take here on d2 with check. And then I'm going to do something that I tell my students not to do, is to be a little bit greedy here. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take this guy when he takes back here with the knight. The reason I say it's risky to do it is that I'm going pawn grabbing. But the thing is, I actually am creating a threat, and if I had to, if he goes rook b1, I probably will not take this one because that's going to allow some bishop to go to d3, and you get some good development there, and that's probably a little bit too on the risky side. But I can always throw in queen e5 check, which is a nice little move that you can do. Uh-oh. So unfortunately, that drops the rook. So yeah, that was a little bit of a mistake. So now he's got to move his knight back to b1, or he's got to move his king up to e2. Okay, so he's trying to preserve his castling privileges. So I'm just gonna be, as I tell my students, be a cow. Just follow the rules, do what everybody else is doing, Just keep developing your pieces. And note, I'm not worried about my queen getting trapped because I can come out, and if he tried to trap me somehow, I'm not too worried there because actually, you know what? I'm gonna play conservatively here and just bring my queen out, not potentially get it trapped down there. Not that I think it would have, but because I don't think he can trap it that easily. But okay. So here we've got he's got to make a decision. Does he block with the bishop or does he block with the knight? Blocking with the knight is the better of the two because he's already developed these pieces. He's developed the bishop already, so why not do that? So I'm going to go ahead and develop my knight, and he'll castle, and I'm going to castle. But unfortunately for white, I'm up a rook. So, and so that can be a big defining thing in a game of chess, is material. So we'll see if Dark Awesome Creature can continue to fight. One of the things we've been learning on this stream, and we've been emphasizing, Jonathan and myself, is that just because you're down doesn't mean you give up. Okay, so you got to fight because you're not going to be playing me in every game. You're going to be playing some people that are going to make mistakes. So you have to fight. You got to keep continuing. So make sure you follow the rules. So if Dark Awesome Creature is a rule follower, I would bring my knight out to c3, or I'd move my knight to d2. In other words, you want to get your pieces active and try to create some threats. Okay? I still have to complete my development too because my bishop is still here. Okay, good move, Dark Awesome Creature. So I'm completing my development. And okay. So now he's getting down a little bit low on time, and I've got a lot more time. I got more time because I'm not talking to Jonathan. So, but not having him here is a downside because he gives us good comments, and he's a student just like you, and you guys can all learn from that. So, all right. So knight there. Unfortunately, that just drops this knight. I can just take it unless I'm missing something. But I think the time is making white play a little bit too fast here, but he has to because he's going to run out of time if he doesn't make a move. All right, so knight e2. All right, we'll save the queen. We'll centralize it. Always centralize your queen if you can, when it needs to be. And Dark Awesome Creature, I'm sorry about that. You played well. Okay, so who's next? We only have 2 people. Oh my gosh. Maybe people don't like me anymore. Well, hopefully some more people join the club because I'd like to play more than just 2 different people. Well, hopefully you guys. Oh, we got a 3rd person. Abel Best Laugh just joined. He's got the panda. Okay, all right, Abel Best Laugh. Just challenge you, and you are in. Maybe I started early and people got scared or something, but okay. So you know what we've been playing? We've been playing e4 the whole time. Let's play d4. Let's play a line that I don't normally play, but I'm familiar with. All right, so this is d6, and so this is gonna. Looks like black might be fighting for the dark squares. So we're gonna go ahead and develop our pieces. So already you can see what my first two moves are. Both of those moves are focused on the e5 square. And black playing d6. Generally when they play d6, it's accompanied with g6 and bishop g7. And that's a pretty typical fianchetto. What I really like about what ChessKid does is it calls this the queen's pawn opening Tartar-Coder variation, but then it will switch. So d5, unfortunately, you lost a tempo. So unless you had a mouse slip, playing d6 and d5 is generally not so good. So we're going to play the queen's gambit, except we're actually up a tempo because I actually have a knight out, and normally I don't have that. So let's see what happens with that extra tempo, and let's see if we can take advantage of it. Generally what black wants to do, unless he plays the accepted variations, is to try to maintain a foothold in the center with that. Yeah, c6 or e6. c6 is a Slav structure, and so we're going to go ahead and develop. Now, if they play e6, then we definitely have a Slav structure. Okay, good. All right, and we're going to go ahead and develop our pieces, except now we're actually up a tempo. This is kind of an unusual situation, but let's go ahead and go here. Oh, no! Can we give you a take back? I feel like I got to give you a take back. I got to give you a take back. How do I even do that? Oh, no. I'm sorry. I feel like I have to take your queen. I mean, I knew you probably pre-moved that, but, all right. I'll tell you what, Abel. I'll take this, and if you resign, I'll play you a very quick game. I'll play you another one really fast if you're listening to the telecast. He was trying to trap my bishop there, but I don't know why he just didn't take my take it. Maybe his monitor's a little bit messed up here. Okay, Abel, I know. I'm sorry for taking your queen, but I feel like I have to play the best move, and it doesn't. I don't know if it allows me to give you a take back option. I just don't think it does. If I could have given you a take back, I would have. So yeah, I think it must have been a mouse slip or something, because it looks like Abel made some uncharacteristic moves, like he obviously played the knight d7 move fast before I'd even made a move. So you do that at your own risk. And then playing f6 was probably, I don't know, maybe he thought he was playing f6 to stop his queen from being taken, but clearly he could have taken that. Okay, so he's continuing. So we're gonna play aggressively here. When you're ahead in material against someone, the worst thing you can do is go into a little ball and just wait. You have to go and try to beat the person. So here I am up a queen, so I do need to go after him and try to punish him if possible. So, all right, so we're going to continue. So notice what I'm doing here, how aggressive I'm being, is I'm putting major pressure in the center, okay? And so when he takes, I'm going to take back with a knight. If he takes back the other one, I'll develop my bishop. So that's actually even worse for him. So yeah, Abel, I think you're stalling. I prefer that you not do that because there's other people that are waiting to play. So we're just continuing to develop our pieces. Again, don't take your foot off the gas. You got to go after the person when you're ahead, because funny things can happen in chess when you kind of lay back a little bit and you allow your opponent to outmaneuver yourself, and that can be fatal sometimes. So you got to be careful about that. All right, so I'm just going to follow the rules and be a cow and castle. And next turn, I'm going to play rook e1. And I don't know why my computer's freaking out. So anyway, yeah, I just intend on doing this. Okay, Abel, you got 30 seconds to do something here. Okay, we're going to bring a new piece in the game. I probably should have taken that knight last turn. I can play knight g6, and okay. So now I'm threatening to play knight f5 and go for mate. So yeah, black's just dead here, unfortunately for him. Let's be a little annoying here. Actually, let's see. Can we do anything faster? Okay, so we're going to go to the next person. Abel Lesbath, I asked you to resign when you were stalling there. That wasn't so good. Okay, we're going to go for Frozen Earthquake. You know, Frozen Earthquake is an oxymoron, right? So okay, so we're going to go ahead and play. We're going to play Sicilian this time. We're going to go really aggressive here. Okay, d6. Just playing the open Sicilian. And now he could take with the queen or the knight, but the knight's generally more preferred. And I'm going to play the dragon. This is something I used to teach my students a lot back in the day. It's a very exciting game. And, oh, someone knows the line. Playing it quickly. Wow. He's playing the 9 castles long line, which is very, very exciting. This is the line I actually play for white. So let's see. We're going to test Frozen Earthquake a little bit on his theory here. So basically, 9 castles long, they call it that on the previous move. If they had played bishop c4 instead, that's called the Yugoslav attack. The purpose of bishop c4 is to stop d5. So when they castle queenside, d5 is definitely the way to go. Now, if you do some calculating here, I actually do lose a pawn, but it's a known pawn sack that's totally good for black, and it gives black an amazing amount of play. So if he ends up taking, takes, and he takes all of this stuff, okay, black gets a ton of compensation. And we'll see if that actually comes out. All right, so my opponent didn't do that. So g4 is an odd move here. So let's check this out. All right. So usually e5 is a pretty standard move in a position like this. We're going to go ahead and take here. So if knight takes knight, queen takes queen is check. If queen takes queen was not check, he could actually throw in this knight takes e7 check move, which is a little hidden gem in the position. You automatically think you have to take back, but sometimes you don't. There are lines in which in this position I have played king b1 before. All right, I played back here. So king b1, in this position d takes e is a mistake because of knight takes c6, queen takes d2, knight takes e7, king moves over, and then we just grab the knight, or grab the queen back. And we're actually up a piece because remember, we took this guy and then checked here. So now he has to find a move here. Yeah, this is one of the dangers when you play mainline theory. What I'll call mainline theory is that you can get caught in positions that are very, very tactical. So here we're going to actually enter a phase in which we're going to enter an endgame in which I'm going to be a pawn up because what's going to happen is when he takes here, this guy's going to fall. The question is whether I take it right away. I could just take everything and play bishop takes g4. But you know what? I'm going to play what's in the spirit of the position, which is bishop takes g4. And now, if he plays bishop e2, I can trade. And then if he takes back with a knight, then I actually am up a pawn. Okay. And, okay, so that's normal. So the question is there anything else I can try? I think we're just going to be normal. I get, sometimes you just have to win material when you can. And so, all right, so here, knight takes to e2, threatens to trade queens. Obviously, queen takes can't be good because it drops this knight because I have two defenders. Okay, so that would actually lose material for him. Yeah, so this is just going to be one of those positions where I'm just up a pawn. And so we're going to have to show some good endgame technique. I could keep the queens on the board, actually, and not play an endgame. Maybe that's what I should do. Let's go for more. Yeah. If I was playing, if I was like a longer game, I probably would go ahead and take this. But because it's blitz, I'm going to try to keep pieces on the board a little bit. All right, so here we're going to bring a new piece in the game. Okay, that's always a good move, is to bring a rook to the center, especially when it's open. You'll be amazed at what can happen. And you know what's shocking here is the only move he has is queen e1. That's the only move he has with the queen. He can't go to any dark squares. So that prevents him from being able to play bishop h6, which is a common attacking move against a fianchettoed structure like this. So yeah, so now I have to decide. I could trade rooks, bring my other rook into the game, which is probably what I should do. This is very common to do. You bring a rook into the game. See how I own the open file now? Normally when you trade, you give up the open file. But here he had to take back with a queen. So therefore, now the rook is much, much better here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play queen e5. And now you see what I'm threatening? I'm threatening queen takes b2 mate. And I'm also threatening queen takes e4. So, okay, and white actually played a very good move. There's a very good move in that it defends this, okay, and it also blocks this diagonal, okay? But the thing is about this position is that I don't see how white's going to get an attack. So one thing that I think that all kids need to learn, and actually anybody for that matter, but especially kids, they're not good at using their pawns. So you see how aggressive this b5 move is here? See how I'm threatening to play b4 and now the knight has to move? So it's either going to have to move somewhere where it guards this pawn, but if it does, wherever the knight moves, I can take this pawn for free at a minimum, right? So, okay. So, so he's running a little bit low on time here. Okay, a3. Maybe necessary, but unfortunately I have one more pawn I can use. And so these two pawns are going to basically crack open white's position. And now white has to come up with a move. This is probably lost here. I don't see what white can really do about it. Yeah, there's no defense here, unfortunately. Okay, so he's making an attempt to defend it, but of course my knight's defending it. Okay, and now the knight has to move. And one of the things about putting the bishop here is the queen is now tied down to defending it. Okay. And so, yeah, he's in trouble here. Okay, that's actually a good move. I like it. Because I was actually threatening knight a2 check, which is a little sneaky. All right, we're going to go queen a5. Does everyone see the threat? Pause it if you don't, pause the thing if you don't see it, but whoop, we got this guy. That eliminates the defender, and now I'm going to have checkmate. Okay, good game, Frozen Earthquake. One thing I would recommend is that you learn a little bit more about that line, because if you're going to play the Open Sicilian against the Dragon is one of the most popular lines that kids play. Okay, we got Bold Stylish Cake. Oh, soft, serious guest. Okay, well, actually, I'm going to play you instead. Since you challenged me, sorry about that. Okay, sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so e4, e5. Okay, we've already had one of these today. And okay, and we're going to go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and play an Italian game again, like we played last time. And so if bishop c5, I'm going to play our very favorite c3. Aha! So this is called the two knights defense. And so one of the lines that I teach a lot of my students is to play the fried liver attack. And what that creates is a threat here. Now, this is called the Wilkes Barre. I don't know that my opponent knows. They call it the Traxler because that's kind of like the old name. But here, taking on f7 with the knight is actually quite dangerous. We'll go ahead and give it a gander. Let's see if our opponent knows what to do. This line is actually extremely complicated. I actually teach this line for black. See, the book move here in this position is to actually take here. Takes, and if I take back, you take the knight with the pawn with the knight with check. So really against bishop takes f2, I always teach the students to play king f1 if they're going to go into this. Okay, so now with okay, so our opponent's playing very quickly. So yeah, so losing, obviously, it's very clear that our opponent, that soft serious guest, he pre-moved. He didn't even think I was going to bring my knight out to g5. But this is a real line. It's not just a gimmick. All right, so knight f2. Okay. We're going to go ahead and play this move d4 to start. Oh my gosh, what was I doing? Actually, yes. So it even happens to the best of us. Sometimes we do dodo things. I actually hung my queen because I was not paying attention. And that's what can happen if you lose your concentration. It's easy for that to happen. So, yeah. So we're gonna have to try to figure out how we're gonna make this work because obviously I messed up. All right, we're gonna take this knight. We got to take the knight for free. Obviously, a really bad move by me. So, all right, and then I think we're going to move our king over so we don't get checked. Although, you know what we might do? Yeah. Let's avoid any potential discovered checks. And he hasn't moved his king yet, so he actually could technically castle queenside. So we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. All right, so we're going to go ahead and play. We're going to give him a check. And now he has to choose. Does he play his king here, or does he put his... Oh, well, he wants to go there. Well, that settles it. All right, so we're going to go for some potential tricks here. Let's go here and create some potential discoveries. Yeah, what's interesting about this position is actually his king can't go anywhere. It's hemmed in by the queen and by the pawn. So that's actually an ingenious move by him, because if I take this guy, he has a back rank on me. So let's see if we can take advantage of that somehow. I'm just going to develop my pieces. All right. So now I can go ahead and take this, because if he checks me, I actually can bring my knight back to f1. Or I could bring my rook to f2. I could bring my rook to f1 too. So the question is, which way do I block? Do I block with the knight? If I block with the rook, he takes. Okay, what's going on there? Rook there. So I'm up a piece if that happens. So if rook f1, so if rook here, bishop takes d2, Rook takes queen, bishop takes. What has he got? He's got a knight and a bishop, but I still have a bishop and a rook. And I've got 2 pieces over here, so I think that's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and block. I don't think I've ever done that on one of these streams before, where I just basically hung my face. Yeah, so here, unfortunately, now I've got a discovery. Our opponent was playing a little bit too quickly, because now I have a discovered check on the king, and I'm also hitting this guy. So, yep, that's correct. I'm going to take with the knight only because I want to be able to develop my bishop out if I need to, which I do need to. So let's go ahead and develop our pieces because we got to complete our development, and also note that we want to make sure our back rank is a little bit weak here. So we're going to go ahead and bring a bishop out, and now if he brings the rook here, we can just simply trade, and then I'm okay. So the only thing that I have to notice that I have 4 pieces here. So now I'm going to go ahead and bring my knight out, and yeah, I'm going to bring my knight out. I'm going to save this guy, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to move my knight here next turn. Yeah, so I'm up 2 pieces here. Obviously, this was not planned, but mistakes happen, and you got to move on from them. All right, knight a5, trying to bring the knight up. Now I don't mind trades, so let's go ahead and save our knight, because obviously he was threatening to take here, and then that would remove the defender, and then he could take here. So now if he takes here, I'm just going to go ahead and take here. Yep. So now being up 2 pieces here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get greedy because it's with check. I don't mind being a little greedy sometimes. And then I'm going to bring this knight back to here, and that will hold this. So look what he's trying to do. He's trying to get me to move my rook here so he can move the rook here. Even if I did that, I'm okay, because watch, there's a trick. Let's see if our opponent's playing a little too quickly for his own good. Because if he plays rook e1, which he did, I've got this. And see how we're stopping the checkmates? We're stopping the moves, the king from getting out. So now if rook e8, then we just simply take this. So yeah, that's the first time I've hung my queen before. I let my guard down because I was up a rook. But good playing, soft serious guest. Guess I should say. Okay, so who is next to play? Okay, we're gonna go greasy aluminum. I love that name. It's one of my favorites, actually. So, greasy aluminum. Let's play, buddy. Take your sip of water, or your juice, or your granola bar, and let's go. Okay, Frozen Earthquake. Oh, that was nice of Dizzy Bowl. Okay. Greasy aluminum, let's go, buddy. There we go. All right, cool. So, we're going to start this game. All All right, so we've been kind of on a roll here with this Italian. We're going to go with this Italian concept because I think the last couple times we've had a lot of Roy Lopez's and stuff. All right, so we're going to go for a 2 knights variation, and our opponent is playing this quickly. So, aha! So if he didn't learn from last time, this is the main line, and this is what a lot of the coaches teach our students to play. And now in this position after pawn takes. The move that Bobby Fischer played was bishop e2, which is totally fine. But the line I like to teach people is this queen f3 move. It's a little on the aggressive side in that I'm hitting so if he takes this bishop, then this rook falls here. So that's good for me. Yeah, so Frozen Earthquake, I'm a little worried about you not paying attention to my threats because see this guy right here? And now he's got to take that guy. I guess he could block. But now he's got to block with the, yeah, because he can't block with the queen because this guy would fall. So he's already down 2 pawns here. So I'm going to go here. The reason I'm going here is not just to go for a cheap mate, but it's also to keep the pressure on him. So that if I move my queen somewhere else, it gives him the freedom to make a move. Here he has to respond to me. I've got threats of queen takes f7 and there. Okay, so he's defending. So we're going to go ahead and, what are we going to do? Let's castle. All right, so we'll bring our knight back. And so if he takes, I'll take with the queen. And he's down 2 pawns here, and he didn't. The first pawn to sack is okay, but it's the second one that's the problem. Just for those of you that want to know a little bit more about this position, is that rook b8 is actually the best move, and you say, oh, wait a second, he can take, and take. Black actually has a really cool move, knight d7, which you're saying, well, it just blocks a check. But it also has a discovered attack on the knight, and with the rook being here, he can play bishop b7, which puts pressure on the diagonal. And so black gets an amazing amount of compensation. Okay, so here we're going to go ahead and take this back. Okay, and we're creating a threat on the rook. So again, he's responding to me. See how we're playing what's called the buzzword is we're playing prophylactically. Okay, we're trying to make it so that he's responding to our threats rather than letting him do what he wants to do. All right, so we're going to go ahead and develop our pieces, because that's something we always want to do. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and play rook e1 here. I'm going to try to create some threats here with some pressure here. And then we're going to play this move d4. Because now, if he takes us, of course, the pawn's pinned, so to speak, because now we can just simply take here. So now when black when black castles, then we're going to be up. We're going to win a 3rd pawn. Although it's interesting, we actually could play. We could play bishop f4 too, but no. Let's play simple. When in doubt, play simple. Don't try to win the brilliancy prize. Don't look for the fancy mates. Just do what you can. Yeah, black's looking for a way to defend that pawn, and he has to be careful. Okay. Well, that's an interesting move, actually. If I play d5, then effectively I can't win this pawn anymore. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to be patient in the position. I'm going to move my queen back, and then I'm threatening to take this pawn now. And if he pushes, of course, I can just take it with the knight. So. Yeah, and he can't throw in any kind of funny business with queen g5 going for a mate because, of course, my bishop is stopping everything. Well, that's interesting. Our opponent's playing very aggressively here. I like it. I like it a lot. He's going after our g pawn here. So The question is do we play a move like f3? Do we play innocently? I like that move by white a lot. This is Frozen Earthquake's best move of the game, is Queen b7 here. So now we got to defend this guy. I'm gonna play actively here. I'm gonna play Queen g4 to defend. The reason I don't like f3, if I play f3, he might play Queen b6, which is annoying because that pawn is now pinned. And I can't move my bishop here, which would be the logical move because he can play Queen takes b2. So we're going to play the logical move here. We're going to go ahead and defend this guy. We're going to get out from under this because we don't need 3 pieces on that pawn. We only need these guys right here are more than enough hitting these guys. So yeah, I think black's going to concede here and go ahead and castle. But I really like Queen b7 move a lot because it shows really good understanding of the diagonal and knowing that this pawn's a goner anyway. So why not just give it up and get some activity? I like that. Good job, Frozen Earthquake. Yeah, he's looking for something. All right, yeah. So he, as I predicted. All right, so we're going to go ahead and grab this dude. Okay, so now we have to defend that stupid pawn. We're going to go ahead and defend it with f4. This is a move that I don't recommend that you play without giving it a lot of thought because it does open up the king. But as we know, pawns are the best defenders on the board. And I still have some work to do. I can't move my bishop here right away because he's got Queen takes b2. So probably I'll play rook to b1 and defend that pawn and then try to get my bishop out so I can complete my development and stuff. And, you know, remember, I am up 3 pawns here. Black has a little bit of compensation, a little bit of an initiative, but it shouldn't be good. It shouldn't be enough to hurt me. So, I appreciate everybody tuning in today. I know that school's now out, and you guys might be trying to go on vacation somewhere. But I hope that you guys tune in, and we're going to try to do this over the summer and stuff. F5, okay. If I was to make a big mistake and take en passant, he would grab this guy. So we're going to go ahead and grab this G pawn instead. It's a nice try, nice try. Actually, you know what's interesting? If Queen b6 check here, bishop e3, this discovery, hitting this guy, doesn't work because my queen defends it. But that's a little hidden idea in the position. Yeah, so our opponent, okay, so he's running out of time here. I'll go ahead and play, I'll just continue with my plan, defend this guy, and then complete my development. Okay, nice game, Frozen Earthquake. I learned that line a little bit better than before. Okay, and okay, who's next? We've already played, hold on. Abel Best Laugh. Boldish Stylish Cake. I don't think we played yet. Yes, we're playing Bold Stylish Cake. Hello, Bold Stylish Cake. Can I get a hi? No one's talking to me today. What's going on? All right. So we're gonna go ahead and play. We're gonna go ahead and play e5. Okay. And we're gonna play a little bit of back to my roots when I was a kid. Good luck. Oh, that's nice. I'm gonna chat with you too. Thanks. All right, cool. So we got an e4, e5 line. That was very nice of you, Bold Stylish Cake. No one else has said that to me today. Oh no. So it's covering the video, huh? Okay, we'll move this over a little bit. Okay. So thumbs up, baby. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Okay, so we got a 4 knights now. And all right, we're going to play what's called the fork trick. And so this idea is that if they take back with the knight, that then we can go ahead and play d5. and then we get our, it doesn't win material or anything. Okay, so this is interesting. Black is being forced to move his king out, but at what cost? The cost is that now when they take back, I have 2 pawns in the center. So when they take back, I can go here, and I have 2 great pawns here. So this is known to be a little bit of a tricky. So now, yeah, the problem is that wherever the knight moves, I'm playing e4 next turn. I'm going to keep putting the pressure on because the knight can't go to any of these squares. Everything's defended. So that means the knight actually has to go back. Ooh, I'm not sure I would have done that because that just loses a pawn, right? Or it loses a piece. And now you still have to move the knight. The knight's still there. Okay. So we'll go ahead and complete our development and see what happened here. I have 3 pieces developed. So yes, my king is out in the open, but there's no checks. I mean, even in this position, my queen defends that, so he can't really do anything like that. So okay, so d4. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take this en passant, maybe, or do we? Yeah, we will. And now taking en passant allows us to move our rook in the game, which is nice. So we're going to grab this guy. And let's see if you guys can find the only defense for black, or for white here. I'm threatening the rook, but more importantly, I'm threatening checkmate. So white has one thing he can do. And what is it? Okay. So we'll block that check. And then that's good tactics that you're looking for stuff like that because that's hanging, but the rook is hanging also. And the problem is you're not going to be able to checkmate me with just your queen. So this is what happens when you give up the center a little bit with the bishop takes f7. So it's actually known to be a little bit of a trap that you can fall into, and all that. So okay, so we're actually, instead of taking the rook, we're going to put more pressure. And I guess bishop e3 is the best move. And then we got a couple choices. Yeah, I think knight d4 is good here. Yeah, and there's a little trick here. If queen here, let's see if anybody can find the trick. It's in your tactic puzzle books. If they play queen to d2. Wait for it, wait for it. If they play queen d2, I'm going to play bishop to b4, which pins the queen to the king. And if he takes back, I've got a knight c2 fork. I could just take the rook for sure, but I'm going to go ahead and do this instead. And now this is, if he takes this, this is where we got the knight c2 check, which forks the 2 pieces. So yeah, that's kind of a toughie. Okay, so actually instead of taking the queen, which allows things to come out, I'm actually going to go for mate instead. So here, unfortunately, the only move they have is knight here, and I don't even have to take the queen. This is taking here is going to be mate. All right, so good game, bold stylish cake. Your mistake, if we want to go back to this, your mistake was playing bishop, in the 4 knights, if you're going to bring your bishop out, you have to go out, bring it out to b5 instead of c4. All right, Tiny Sparkly Frog, would you like to play? Tiny Sparkling Frog is playing a game, and it's too late. All right, so let's go back, and let's see who else we got here. Oh, someone just resigned, so maybe he sees that it's time to play. Tiny Sparkly Frog. There you go, Tiny. No, not 15-1. That's too long. But we're gonna play a 5-1 because that's too long for everybody to play. Okay, cool. I love the frog symbol. It's outstanding. Just wonderful. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and play. We've played a French so far, a Sicilian e5. We're going to go back to e4, e5. And I want to see this sparkly frog. Oh my gosh. You know what this is called, everyone? I've never seen a kid play this in a long time. This is called the King's Gambit. It's famous. And so the purpose is to get a good center. And so yes, white normally plays knight f3. And so what black wants to do here is he's actually going to try to hold on to this pawn, which looks like suicide in some ways, but it's actually not. What you're doing here is you're defending this guy, okay? And we're making it so that it's hard for the bishop to ever come out. And this is a hard position. I think this is a good line for kids to learn for white, because people don't normally know to play this move, to defend like this. And it gives white a really good center. For example, if I had never played g5 and white was able to play white bishop takes f4, you see how awesome his center is? It's beautiful. Whereas I'm very, very back. Okay? No, I'm not accepting a draw offer. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play knight c6. Maybe if there was some escargot. Maybe escargot. You know what that is, right? That's called frog legs. Nope, no draw offer. Sorry. Okay, so interesting line. I've literally never seen anybody play this before. It's quite exciting. All right, so we have a chance to take with the bishop or the pawn. I'm going to take with the bishop only because I want this hole. See how any piece, whether it's a bishop or a queen or a knight or maybe a rook, that'll be an outpost forever. There's nothing that our friendly frog here can do about that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and so our opponent's completed his development, and so if he takes, we'll take back. So we're up a pawn here. But it's not all rosy because these pawns are a little awkward, right? So, all right, we're going to go ahead and develop our pieces. The question is, let's go knight f6, I guess. Let's do that, actually. All right. And we're going to go ahead and castle queenside. And so, as you've probably, as we learned on a previous telecast, that castling on opposite sides of the board generally means that there's a good chance that one side is going to pawn storm. Oh, I got a happy face from Tiny Sparkly Frog. I'm sorry. Well, I'll respond. Okay, so yeah, I probably would move my queen out here and try to get my pieces active. The rook here is going to be an awfully slow roll to try to get me and stuff. So, all right, we're going to continue with the attack, I guess. And I want to go for I want to try to go for a checkmate of sorts. Let's go here. And I'm trying to play for g4 here. I'm trying to crack open this king here because if you see that all black's pieces are pretty good here, white's pieces, this is going to take a long time to even come after me. So let's go. Let's bring our rook up. We're going to go for kind of a double, the daily double like in Jeopardy. All right. Kick you out of there. I don't want you on my side of the board. Yeah, the problem is now the knight gets trapped, right? So yeah, I mean he can go here and mess up my king, but at the cost of a whole piece. But given the circumstances, I don't see what else they can do. Okay. So do I take it? I think we do. And now, unfortunately, losing the knight means that this pawn drops too. I probably could have taken that before. Although, no, I couldn't have. I played rook here so I could get off of this diagonal. So this would be free. Okay. So now it is time to go for the checkmate. So we're going to try to crack open the frog here. Like this is like dissection when I was in high school during biology class. This is when you dissect the frog. So we're going to have to go after the frog. So let's go, you know what, we're going to take with a pawn. You might say, why would you take with a pawn? Don't you want to open this up? Well, we got a very, very sneaky doubling rooks on the h-file, and this is going for a mate. So, and the king can't really get out is the problem. The king can't get out because of the knight here. So yeah, this is some problems. So yeah, this is going to be checkmate in one move. Well, white can do this, but to try to crack me open. This is a good idea to try to do a pawn storm. The problem is it's just way, way too slow, and unfortunately, you know, being down material. So yeah, now rook here is mate on any move except for g3, it looks like. And then it's only mate in 2. So good game, Tiny Sparkly Frog. This is you know, it's very cool to see the King's Gambit because you do not see kids play that very often, and it does have some teeth, and it's kind of crazy. All right, so they did find the only way out. Okay, check, and this is going to lead to checkmate. And this will be our last game of the stream. We started a little early today, and I've got some things I got to take care of. I want to thank the Southern Arizona Chess Association for putting this on, and we'll have either Jonathan Martinez or someone else next week to join us with the Beat the Coach. And I encourage you guys to play in the 2 tournaments that ChessKid has during the week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So check that out and keep playing and enjoy your summer. Keep playing. I really, really want you guys to use this time over the summer to try to get as good at chess as you can. So when you come back, when tournaments are back, that you can all do a lot better. So good luck to everybody, and that's it for the telecast today. Thank you.